So the T20 World Cup will be starting in less than 1 month, and uh, सब कंट्रीज अभी अपना स्क्वाड्स अनाउंस कर रहे हैं. इंडिया ने भी अनाउंस किया है. तो दिस वीडियो इज बेसिकली अबाउट व्हाट इंडिया हैज डन, व्हाट प्लेयर्स हैव बीन सिलेक्टेड, हु ऑल हैज मेड इट, किस किस का बनना चाहिए था, किस किस का बना है, किसका बना नहीं और क्यों नहीं बना या फिर बनना चाहिए था, और व्हाट ऑल आर द पॉसिबल you know combinations that India might look to have with these 15 players that have been selected in the squad. There's also four traveling reserves जो will be traveling for any injuries in case कुछ हुआ. So 19 total players, 15 main squad के और 4 reserves. So we'll talk about what are the potential things about the squad of India, and this is basically that. So uh, starting off, obviously, uh, looking at uh, looking at the 2022 World Cup, I think, which was the last T20 World Cup that happened 2 years ago, जहाँ पे हम सेमीफाइनल्स में जाके we lost against England 10 विकेट से काफ़ी. uh, it was when a very humiliating loss in a way, and after that, it was quite clear that we kind of were trying to move away from Rohit and Kohli, probably because last year, Hardik was leading the T20 team and वो सब चल रहा था. But it was probably mostly because of the fact that ODI World Cup भी था. Last year we played a ODI World Cup in October November. उसकी वजह से शायद से they wanted the senior players who are more focused towards the ODI World Cup to just focus on ODIs and not play the T20s, because अभी जो टाइम है वो उसके लिए यूज़ करना था. बट आई थिंक एक चीज़ हुई है कि आफ्टर द ODI वर्ल्ड कप, ऑब्वियसली जिस तरीके से अपना कैंपेन हुआ, इट वाज ग्रेट, बट फाइनल में हारे. उसके बाद आई थिंक there was not a lot of time for the T20 setup to kind of get back together, and the players who played the ODI World Cup to just sort of regroup and have a proper try and see what squad we have for the World Cup. Uh, and also the fact is कि अभी IPL है और IPL के just बाद immediately World Cup ही है, क्योंकि there's no gap in between, or there's no other series in between for the team to kind of try and test with the potential players they feel they want to try. They kind of have to base it on whatever form they had before and seen with India or probably what wherever, I think. और उसके साथ में अभी IPL में कैसे खेल रहे वो, आई थिंक ये दोनों चीज़ों की काइंड ऑफ बैलेंस करना पड़ा उनको टू काइंड ऑफ सिलेक्ट द स्क्वाड. तो सो बेसिकली विराट और रोहित ऐसे नहीं रहेंगे, ऐसा सबको लग रहा था आफ्टर द 2022 लॉस. इवन दो आई फेल्ट कि विराट कोहली हैड वॉज आर बेस्ट प्लेयर इन दैट वर्ल्ड कप एज वेल. पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट का गेम जिस तरीके से ही वन अस, आई थिंक, आई मीन दैट्स व्हाट यू नीड प्लेयर्स लाइक विराट कोहली. अभी स्ट्राइक रेट का रोना जो लोग करते हैं उसका, आई वुड टेल यू दैट आंसर दैट एक तो यू शुड नॉट कंपेयर विराट कोहली स्ट्राइक रेट टू अदर प्लेयर्स इन द IPL, क्योंकि वो खेलता है आरसीबी के लिए. आरसीबी के साथ जब वो खेलता है तब ही हैज़ टू काइंड ऑफ प्ले मोर, ही हैज़ टू टेक दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, क्योंकि अगर वो आउट हुआ तो उसको पता है कि नीचे के लोग जो है वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे. तो ही हैज़ टू काइंड ऑफ प्ले इन दैट वे कि वो पावर प्ले में ही गिव्स ए गुड स्टार्ट. उसके बाद में मिडिल ओवर्स में ही ट्राइज टू काइंड ऑफ रोटेट द स्ट्राइक एंड गिव द his partner the strike and make him kind of take on the bowlers and then probably try and hit at the end. It hasn't come off as well at the end to kind of convert it into a bigger innings, but जिस तरीके से उसने खेला है, he has shown that he is in good form. Orange cap का he is at the end of I think 11 matches that he have played, he is leading the orange cap in for the IPL, and which is something that shows कि उसका form तो अच्छा चल रहा है, उसका कुछ problem नहीं है, because he hasn't played much T20s. That's why people were probably questioning. Another thing that I realized with something that Aaron Finch said कि मेरे को समझ नहीं आता हर बार whenever there's a ICC trophy इंडिया का सब सिलेक्शन का जब सवाल उठता है, तब why is it always कि विराट कोहली का सिलेक्शन is always under question. क्योंकि I think the kind of caliber the player has, you kind of look at that and you just have to select him based on whatever he has achieved. क्योंकि उसका टेम्परामेंट, ये जो सब चीज़ें होती है वो तुम्हारा सूर्य कुमार यादव तुमको नहीं देगा. he'll give you those 360 shots, he'll give you 170 180 200 के ऊपर का स्ट्राइक रेट. बट जहाँ पे मैटर होता है कि अपना, जैसे पाकिस्तान का मैच था, वहाँ पे जहाँ पे प्रॉपर बिल्ड करके फिर एंड में जिस तरीके का फिनिश जरूरी था, वो मैचेस जिताने के लिए तुमको एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर ही लगते हैं, और ऐसे जो विराट कोहली ऐसा टेम्परामेंट रखते हैं चेजेस में स्पेशली. तो इस तरीके का प्लेयर, तुम सवाल कैसे उठता है मेरे को यही समझ नहीं आता. आई थिंक ही हैड टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द टीम एंड आई एम वेरी ग्लैड कि उसका सिलेक्शन हुआ है. रोहित शर्मा की बात करें तो रोहित शर्मा हैड अ टेरिबल T20 World Cup. He has had terrible T20 World Cups repeatedly. It's just that he has had good form. मतलब वो रोहित शर्मा है. You know कि उसका पोटेंशियल तो है कि अगर उसने किया डिसाइड कि आज मैं खेलूंगा और उसने अच्छे से खेला, तो ही कैन बी द मोस्ट डिस्ट्रक्टिव बैट्समैन ऑन दैट डे इन आर टीम. सो उस तरीके का बैट्समैन अगर है तुम्हारे पास तो यू ऑब्वियसली प्ले. और ऊपर से ही इज़ अ वेरी गुड कैप्टन. आई थिंक ही लेड अस रियली वेल इन द ओडिया वर्ल्ड कप. और उसके बाद आई थिंक a lot of things changed for the selectors कि हार्दिक का सिलेक्ट, look, आई एम रोहित ने अभी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आके बोला कि इट वॉज ऑलवेज नोन कि दे वर इन प्लान्स, विराट और रोहित प्लान्स में तो थे इस T20 वर्ल्ड कप के लिए, जस्ट बिकॉज ओडिया वर्ल्ड कप था दे वांटेड टू फोकस ऑन इट एंड दे डिडंट प्ले T20 लास्ट ईयर, और इसीलिए पांड्या को कैप्टन किया था. बट द मैसेज दैट फैंस गॉट इन द सेंस वाज दैट कि ये लोग शायद से अभी T20 नहीं खेलेंगे बिकॉज द लॉस वाज ह्यूमिलेटिंग इन द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, और शायद से ओडिया पे फोकस करके विल ट्राई टू विन दैट, और उसके बाद शायद से इनका करियर इज क्वाइट नियरिंग द एंड. तो T20 वर्ल्ड कप के लिए वे प्रॉब्ली लुकिंग एट T20 एज अ फॉर्मेट जहाँ पे हमको यंगस्टर्स को ज़्यादा चांस देना है, और शायद से इसके लिए हम वी आर ट्राइंग टू मूव ऑन फ्रॉम देम. हार्दिक को कैप्टन बना के वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू मेक ए न्यू यूनिट यंग प्लेयर्स को लेके, और वी ट्राइंग टू लुक एट द T20 वर्ल्ड कप इन दैट सेंस. बट इट वॉज नॉट लाइक दैट. और ऊपर से दूसरी चीज आई थिंक इवन इफ इट वॉज थॉट इन अ वे कि हार्दिक को ही कैप्टन रखना है, आई थिंक रोहित शर्मा ने अपने जिस तरीके से ही लेड अस फॉर द ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप, और ऊपर से हार्दिक की इंजुरीज का थिंग, हिम गेटिंग इंजर्ड मिडवे थ्रू द वर्ल्ड कप, रूलिंग गेटिंग रूल्ड आउट, और वो सब जो हुआ उसके बाद भी सिलेक्टर्स प्रॉब्ली आर नॉट श्योर अबाउट हिज फिटनेस, और अपने को पता नहीं था कि whether he'll be back. He was getting, I think, वर्ल्ड कप के 1-2 महीने बाद ही वॉज फिट एंड ही वॉज ट्रेनिंग फॉर द आईपीएल. ही डिडंट प्ले फॉर इंडिया जस्ट बिकॉज उसको फिट रहना था, और अभी आईपीएल का फॉर्म देखते आई थिंक ओवरऑल सिलेक्टर्स वर काइंड ऑफ श्योर कि उनको भरोसा नहीं है अभी हार्दिक पे कि वो पूरा टूर्नामेंट कैप्टन करने के लिए है या नहीं. तो आई थिंक फॉर दैट रीजन रोहित शर्मा एज अ कैप्टन यू ब्रिंगिंग हिम इन मेक सेंस. बट उसका बैटिंग का फॉर्म नहीं रहा है, सो ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग उसका बैटिंग पे इफ यू कंपेयर विद द अदर प्लेयर्स इट्स नॉट बीन सो ग्रेट. देयर बीन लॉट ऑफ बेटर प्लेयर्स. I hope he can play what Rohit Sharma as a player can play and what we have seen on his best day do. उस तरीके से अगर वो खेला तो इट्स रियली गुड फॉर अस एंड आई थिंक ही विल प्ले इन दैट वे बिकॉज उसको जीतना है. यू कैन सी इट इन हिज आईज एंड हिज बॉडी लैंग्वेज कि उसको लाइक आई वुड ऑनेस्टली से कि उसने बहुत कुछ अपना मतलब ही हैज़ गॉट फैंस, ही हैज़ गॉट मनी, एवरीथिंग इज डन. ही इज प्लेइंग, ही हैज़ नो रीजन टू प्ले. अभी ऊपर से जिस तरीके से हुआ है उसका I mean, I'm not someone who's judging whatever happened in the IPL. जिस तरीके से हार्दिक को कैप्टन बनाया जो भी हुआ है, I'll talk about that differently, not in this video. But उसके हिसाब से I think Rohit can easily walk away and say that's it, I'm done, I've achieved a lot and I'll just walk away. But I think you see कि उसका वो है उसमें कि उसको determined है वो कि उसको जीतना है वर्ल्ड कप. Obviously उसको ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप जीतना है, but I mean he is not going to say no to winning a T20 वर्ल्ड कप. तो for that reason, I hope he'll play the way he wanted to play every with a particular approach. और उस तरीके से जिस तरीके से उसने ओडिया वर्ल्ड कप में खेला, I hope he plays with that intent इधर भी. And yeah, let's see about that. So those two players have been picked. Obviously, there was not a lot of discussion about whether they will play or not since Jaisha kind of announced कि रोहित शर्मा will be the captain. तब से I think even though there was news coming out कि विराट कोहली को शायद से नहीं लेंगे, ईशान किशन will be the number 3. जब मैंने ईशान किशन का नाम सुना तभी मेरे को पता था कि ये शायद से गलत है, क्योंकि ईशान किशन को अगर वो लोग इतना भी आई काइंड ऑफ आई have talked about the fact that I don't think that the selectors are as smart as they should be, but I know that they would not pick Ishan Kishan as a number 3 by dropping Virat. I mean, मेरे को उतना उन पे था कि उनका उतना दिमाग है, तो आई फेल्ट कि ये दोनों तो है. रोहित विल बी प्लेइंग तो कंफर्म ही हुआ था, और कोहली भी खेलेगा. अब इसके अलावा द थिंग इज कि विराट कोहली इज ऑलवेज प्लेड एट मोस्टली मतलब वर्ल्ड कप्स में वगैरह ही प्लेड एट 3 फॉर इंडिया. तो यू नीड दैट अनदर ओपनर अलॉन्ग विद द फैक्ट कि ये भी है कि अभी आईपीएल में ही इज ओवर द इयर्स ही इज ओपनिंग और ही इज डूइंग रियली वेल देयर. और ऊपर से तुमको शायद से चाहिए कि यू डोंट वांट हिम टू प्ले इन द मिडल ओवर्स मोस्टली बिकॉज ही इज गिविंग अ गुड स्टार्ट. ही कैन डू दैट, ही इज डन दैट फॉर आरसीबी इन द पावर प्ले, ही कैन प्ले दैट वे. एंड शायद से देयर प्लान्स आर कि उसको रोहित के साथ ओपनिंग ही देना है, क्योंकि अपना जो उन्होंने जिस तरीके से बाकी लोगों की बात की है, आई थिंक रोहित एंड कोहली विल बी ओपनिंग इज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ द मैसेजेस. एंड इवन दो दे पिक जायसवाल विच यू ऑब्वियसली विल काइंड ऑफ हैव अ बैकअप. Jaiswal has done well for India. अभी उसका form in IPL hasn't been the way. He's got 100 against Mumbai right now, but apart from that, every match he's kind of had cheaply out हुआ है. तो उसकी वजह से I think जायसवाल का selection was purely based on the fact that he's done well for India. पर मेरा पॉइंट वही है, एज आई सेड कि उनका दे हैवंट डिसाइडेड कि मेरे को बस इंडिया के लिए परफॉर्मेंस देख के ही सिलेक्ट करना है या फिर मेरे को बेसिकली अभी का फॉर्म देख के आई विल बी डिसाइडिंग. क्योंकि रिंकू सिंह को नहीं लिया उस तरीके से. विल टॉक अबाउट व्हाट हैपेंड विद रिंकू सिंह, उसका सिचुएशन. बट दे पिक जायसवाल नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द आईपीएल, बिकॉज आईपीएल में तो उसका कुछ अच्छा नहीं था चल रहा है अभी तक. तो दे हैव पिक्ड हिम बेस्ड ऑन द फैक्ट कि उसने टेस्ट सीरीज में भी अच्छा किया इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट. ही इज डन वेल for India whenever he's played in the T20s as well. So he is known for giving a good start. So I think they've believed back that left-handed है और उसको लिया. क्योंकि फॉर्म उसका तो उसके हिसाब से तो नहीं लिया है, क्योंकि फॉर्म तो नहीं है. फोर्थ प्लेयर they've picked obviously सूर्य कुमार यादव. रैंकिंग के हिसाब से he is very high. His form is also not doing so well. वर्ल्ड कप में जो हुआ था I think it was ODI obviously, but the final में जिस तरीके का उसका परफॉर्मेंस was poor, so उसके बाद में there was quite a lot of trolling about Surya Kumar's form and whether he's probably someone who is, I also believe he likes to play against weaker teams. उसके statistics and everything you saw last World Cup as well, that he kind of scores most of his runs in the games where it's not really what we need from our best batsmen according to the rankings या जिस तरीके का potential उसमें है. तो we need him to step up in bigger games. पाकिस्तान है अभी वापस से अपने ग्रुप में, तो those kind of games you need Surya Kumar to step up now because he is not a newbie now. He has reached a level where he is one of the top batters who picks himself in the team, right? So उस तरीके के batsman को अभी those performances have to come from him. So Surya Kumar Yadav has been picked, and there's no people will say कि उसका selection questionable है, but I don't think it was ever questionable to the selectors कि उसका मतलब he was going to be a part of the team. The next is शिवम दुबे, एंड नाउ देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक्स कि दुबे को लिया जाए और फिर हार्दिक को बाहर करो, क्योंकि हार्दिक का फॉर्म इस आईपीएल में बहुत ही खराब है. तो दुबे को उसकी जगह लेने का सोच रहा था, बट आई थिंक उन्होंने दोनों को लिया है अभी. दुबे का लेना आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद दैट बिकॉज अपना प्रॉब्लम वही रहा. आई थिंक ओवरऑल की व्हेनेवर वी आर बैटिंग वी गेट अ गुड स्टार्ट. पावर प्ले में अपन रन बनाते हैं अपना 50 के ऊपर अपन जा सकते हैं 6 ओवर्स में, और अपना फिनिश भी होता है. कुछ भी करके अपना वो वी कैन मैनेज द पावर प्ले एंड द फिनिशिंग. मिडल ओवर्स में वी गेट लॉट बहुत स्लो खेलते हैं अपन, और उसके हिसाब से अपना उसकी वजह से अपना रन इतना बनते नहीं. तो फॉर दैट रीजन आई थिंक दे पिक समवन हु विल टेक ऑन द स्पिनर्स इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ एनीथिंग द सिचुएशन व्हाटएवर जो भी है. दुबे विल कम आउट टू बैट इन द मिडल, और स्पिनर्स जो भी है ही विल जस्ट टेक देम ऑन एंड ट्राई टू गेट यू दोस काइंड ऑफ बिग ओवर्स इन द मिडल एज वेल. क्योंकि इफ यू सी द आईपीएल दिस ईयर इट्स नॉट बीन समथिंग दैट teams have tried to build an inning. You just go for it from the beginning and you just try to do as well as you can till you get out. It doesn't matter if you get out, you have अभी obviously यहाँ पे impact सब नहीं है. तो तुम जिस तरीके से अभी इधर खेल रहे हो, जितना फ्रीडम एक एक्स्ट्रा बैट्समैन है हो जो है अपने को पता है, उस तरीके का वहाँ पे होने नहीं वाला. तो यू विल प्ले अ लिटिल कॉशियसली बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, क्योंकि यू नो दैट द 11 यू पिक वही खेलने वाले, कोई और आके तुम उसको बचा नहीं. अपने अगर ज़्यादा विकेट गिरे तो अपन कोई इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर को लाके अपने बैटिंग बढ़ा नहीं सकते, या अपने बॉलर्स को फॉर दैट सेंस कि अपना इम्पैक्ट सब यहाँ पे नहीं है. But even then, I think the way T20 cricket is being played has changed a lot. कि more it has become more batters game, जहाँ पे बहुत high scores are more common. And I think in that sense, we need someone who will also keep up with that, because other teams, England का देखो तुम, England's got Phil Salt, Bairstow, Butler, uh, you know, all those players and Livingstone. तो इतना जिस तरीके का उनका टॉप ऑर्डर है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया का भी देख लो तो ट्रेविस हेड वगैरह, तो वो लोग दे विल बी प्लेइंग दैट वे कि वो अगर अपने को उनके अगेंस्ट खेलने के टाइम पे वी हैव टू चेस बिग टारगेट्स, वी नीड टू और सेट अप अ बिग टारगेट, वी नीड टू आल्सो स्कोर इक्वली फास्टली इन द मिडल ओवर्स. और उसकी वजह से आई थिंक दैट टेकन शिवम दुबे बिकॉज ही इज समवन हु इज अ प्रॉपर सिक्स हिटर, एंड आई थिंक ही इज अ बेस्ट सिक्स हिटर इन दिस टीम. क्योंकि ही हैज दैट एबिलिटी टू हिट सिक्सेस एट विल, मतलब उसको सिक्स मारना है तो वो मार सकता है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज इट्स अ वीक लूज बॉल यहाँ पे जो मारेगा. ही कैन एक्ट, उसका वो है कि वो मिडल ओवर्स में जहाँ पे बहुत से लोग रिस्क लेना नहीं पसंद करते, ही इज समवन हु विल टेक दैट रिस्क एंड ही विल ट्राई टू गो बिग. और उस तरीके का इज अ टॉल गाय, बिग लीप, एंड ही हिट्स इट जिस तरीके का उसका बैटिंग का स्टाइल है, यू काइंड ऑफ गेट रिमाइंडेड ऑफ द डेज वेयर युवराज सिंह रैना उस तरीके से मिडल ओवर में जब खेलते थे इंडिया के लिए, यू गेट रिमाइंडेड ऑफ दोज वेज, क्योंकि लेफ्टी है जो जिस तरीके से मारता है. तो शिवम दुबे का सिलेक्शन आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद. we've covered 5 players now. उसके बाद I think 2 wicket keepers that they've picked, ऋषभ पंत एंड संजू सैमसन. केएल राहुल हैज़ बीन ड्रॉप्ड, एंड वहाँ पे बहुत लोगों ने चर्चा किया कि केएल राहुल को नहीं लिया. दिनेश कार्तिक के बारे में बात हो रही थी कि दिनेश कार्तिक को क्यों नहीं लिया. देयर वर टॉक्स अबाउट जितेश शर्मा, क्योंकि उसने सबसे ज़्यादा मैचेस जितेश शर्मा ने खेले फॉर इंडिया एज अ विकेट कीपर बिफोर दिस आईपीएल. तो लुकिंग एट इट वाज लुकिंग कि जितेश शर्मा इज वन ऑफ द कंटेंडर्स फॉर दैट स्पॉट, बट हिज फॉर्म हैज he's not done well at all for Punjab when he's played this year in the IPL. तो उसकी वजह से उसको नहीं लिया है. ईशान किशन का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही निकाला है तो उसको भी नहीं लिया है. दिनेश कार्तिक इज 36-37, तो उसको भी मतलब नहीं लेने वाले थे. 36-37 नहीं, आई थिंक इज ओल्डर, सो उसका भी ऑब्वियसली नहीं होने वाला था. सो आई थिंक केएल राहुल इज समवन हु जिसका नाम शायद से सब लोग लेंगे कि उसका ना लेना थोड़ा सा डिसअपॉइंटिंग है लोगों के लिए, बिकॉज he's done a lot for the team in a way. I think just because he has the potential to be more versatile, कि वो ओपनिंग भी कर सकता है, 3 पे भी खेल सकता है, मिडल ऑर्डर में 5 पे खेल सकता है, कीपिंग कर सकता है, ऑल दो थिंग्स की उसका वो सब बहुत सी चीज़ें कर सकता है. जिस तरीके का अपना रिक्वायरमेंट है उस तरीके से वी हैव ट्राइड टू फिट हिम इन, और ही हैज़ डन वेल टू फिट हिमसेल्फ इन एंड नॉट रियली शो दैट ही इज़ प्लेइंग आउट ऑफ पोजिशन. तो वैसे बैट्समैन आर रेयर, एंड आई थिंक उसकी वजह से पीपल आर वेरी कि उसको लेना चाहिए था शायद से. बट आई कैन सी दैट नाउ अगेन एज आई सेड, संजू सैमसन को किस बेसिस पे लिया तुमने? आईपीएल के फॉर्म पे. तो नाउ यू हैव कॉन्ट्राडिक्टेड योर सिलेक्शन ऑफ जायसवाल एंड प्रॉब्ली यू नो कि तुमने रिंकू सिंह को क्यों नहीं लिया क्योंकि उसका आईपीएल में फॉर्म नहीं चल रहा है, बट सैमसन को क्यों लिया राहुल के ऊपर क्योंकि उसका आईपीएल अच्छा चल रहा है. तो अगेन एज आई सेड कि उनको इट्स डिफिकल्ट फॉर द सिलेक्टर्स टू काइंड ऑफ गो बाय जस्ट वन कि अपन ठीक है चल अपन आईपीएल के हिसाब से लेंगे या फिर विल जस्ट डिसाइड बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट दे हैव डन इंटरनेशनली. इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू जस्ट काइंड ऑफ गो बाय दैट. यू हैव टू काइंड ऑफ ट्राई एंड get the balance there. It's a difficult job, but I can see the contradiction of thought there. And फिर सैमसन को उसके वहाँ पे लिया है. ही इज प्रॉब्ली द टॉप ऑर्डर विकेट कीपर जहाँ पे आई टेल यू हाउ वी काइंड ऑफ माइट look like in the top six later on. So Samson को लिया एक लेफ्ट हैंडेड पंत. पंत हैज कम बैक फ्रॉम एक्सीडेंट जो भी हुआ, वेरी लॉन्ग ब्रेक फ्रॉम क्रिकेट, और ही हैज कम बैक इन अ वे कि इट्स लाइक ही नेवर मिस दोज 1.5 years. जिस तरीके से इज प्लेइंग फॉर डीसी, इज कीपिंग परफेक्टली वेल, डाइविंग सब कुछ, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम देयर. इज बैटिंग probably close to what he was at his peak, so I think there's no problem with that. So Pant ka selection was obviously there because he's kind of our futuristic star player. Rishabh Pant उसको लेने ही वाले थे. और संजू सैमसन का भी, there's a lot of people who are someone who was always there. There's a big fan base of Sanju Samson who's always said that उसके साथ there has been a lot of injustice, उसको enough chances नहीं दिया है, जब भी दिया है if he's not done well he's been immediately dropped. He's been given chances not really consistently. So people are happy with that. I'm happy for Sanju Samson. I don't know if it's the best decision. How it might pan out, we'll see. But I like the fact that Sanju Samson has been given that chance because he has done well in the IPL at least to kind of get himself that position better than Rahul for sure. So there's Samson and Pant. One of them is a top order, and Samson he can play at three somewhere, and Pant is probably like a number five, number six. I don't think, but he's that lower order keeper. Samson is a top order keeper. So we've covered 7 players from the 15. Then there's the big name, which is Hardik Pandya, who's also the vice captain. And मतलब वो था ही vice captain, but बहुत लोग are surprised with his being the vice captain because Mumbai Indians 10th है अभी, and his captaincy has been a disaster for them. His decisions haven't been on point, and he hasn't performed as a batsman or a bowler, particularly for Mumbai as well. A lot of that has been driven towards the fact कि उसका the outside noise has played a big factor in his performances. I feel there's been a lot of hate from the fans, Mumbai के fans, रोहित के fans, जो भी है जिस तरीके से booing हुआ है. मैं I was there couple 2 matches I watched at the 1K day, and I have also noticed कि वहाँ पे बहुत होता है, and it does play a part when you're playing. Even if you show that he's trying to show that he's completely cool and he doesn't care about anything in the world, it does affect you in the end. There's players like Kevin Peterson who said कि उसके साथ भी ये हुआ है. So there's obviously that, and his performances haven't been there. But I think he is one of the most important players for India if we want to have a chance at winning this World Cup, because the balance that he brings to the team, if he's doing well, is unmatched. Because he will bowl you. Uh, as I said again, अपना आगे का मैंने cover नहीं किया, but अभी तक we have kind of made a clear message कि अपन 3 spinners खिलाने वाले. When we're playing 3 spinners, our third seamer, apart from the two that we'll pick in the uh, rest of the 5, Hardik Pandya will be our third seamer. तो ही हैज़ टू बोल वेल. ऊपर से ही विल बी प्लेइंग अ नंबर 6 स्पॉट जहाँ पे अपन ने ज़्यादा रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं लिया. रिंकू सिंह जो अपना नंबर 6 था, हार्दिक विल प्रॉब्ली प्ले नंबर 6 नाउ, एंड देयर इज नो रिंकू सिंह इन द बेंच. तो उसके लिए अपन ने रिजर्व बैकअप कोई नहीं लिया है 15 में. तो हार्दिक हैज़ टू डू वेल, एंड देयर इज नोबडी इन द टॉप 6 हु बोल्स अदर देन हार्दिक. शुभम दुबे डज बोल, बट ही हैजंट बोल्ड इनफ फॉर सीएसके इधर. तो उसका बॉलिंग फॉर्म ऐसा कुछ अच्छा खास नहीं. So Hardik has to have a good World Cup for India to have a chance at winning. Now there's, as I said, I hope he will keep everything that is happening at Mumbai only here. Forget about it at the end of the IPL. I hope Rohit and him have a good relation in the World Cup if we want to win. And I think they will. They are professional enough to kind of deal with that really well and try and perform in that way. बिकॉज हार्दिक पांड्या का परफॉर्मेंस आना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड रोहित नोज इट एज अ कैप्टन कि उसको पता है कि हार्दिक का कितना इंपॉर्टेंस है उसके टीम में. इफ हार्दिक डज वेल, लॉट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर सॉल्व्ड, लॉट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स आर सॉल्व्ड, बिकॉज ही इज वन ऑफ द क्लच प्लेयर्स. कि जहाँ पे इंडिया हैज ऑलवेज फेल्ट अ टॉप ऑर्डर क्राइसिस जहाँ पे जब हुआ है, ही हैज ऑलवेज स्टेप्ड अप. अभी 2022 का भी विल काइंड ऑफ गेट ओवरलुक कि अपन 10 विकेट से हारे, बट अपन ने 170 किया था. और जो 170 किया था, इवन इफ यू माइट लुक एट द एंड एंड से कि 170 वाज नेवर अ गुड स्कोर. 170 जहाँ से अपन ने स्टार्ट किया था, वेरी स्लोली, राहुल गेटिंग आउट, स्काई गेटिंग आउट, रोहित प्लेइंग अ टेस्ट मैच इनिंग, कोहली नॉट गेटिंग अ बिग इनिंग, 50 or 40 was not never quick enough. उसके बाद में हार्दिक स्टेप्ड अप. आई मीन कोहली हैड टू प्ले दैट वे टू काइंड ऑफ यू नो build inning after the top three have rest of the three from the top four have gotten out. Kohli had to play a little slowly, and उसके साथ में फिर हार्दिक had to kind of play in a very pressure situation. और उसके बाद में जब he played to get that score 170 तक पहुंचाना, which was even if we lost by 10 wickets, it was a fighting score. If the bowlers would have bowled a bit well than they did, अपन उसका मैच बना सकते थे शायद से. But he gave us that chance. 2017 का Champions Trophy में भी we saw that he was single-handedly batting in a way that अपन जिस तरीके से we were in completely out of the game, and he kind of gave us hope. Run out हुआ जो भी हुआ, that happened. But I think for that reason, Asia Cup maybe he has won us against Pakistan. So he is someone who handles pressure really well, chases well, and along with the fact that he also bowls. So Hardik is very important. And I hope, as I said, that all of the outside noise is kept outside. All of the talk about him at Mumbai is kept till the restrictions of the IPL. And once the IPL is over, which I think for Mumbai it will be over quite soon because they're already 10th, three more matches, and the misery will be over. And I hope after that they can group well and just try and see the bigger goal that is there for the team as they're playing for India. मतलब World Cup जीतना ज़्यादा important है अभी, other than all of the things that are happening here. And I hope that happens and Hardik gets his form back. जो भी 3-4 matches, I hope he can do well and try to get some confidence back in. With the ball, I think he started to develop a little. Last couple of games, I think I've seen him bowl more consistently, better lines, picked up wickets, more economical, boundaries kam kha raha hai. So I think it's a good thing. The batting form is something that is concerning even now, but I hope he will do well, and I am quite positive about the fact that he will turn up because it's very different. As a lot of people have said कि जहाँ पे तुम franchise के लिए खेल रहे हो तुम इंडिया के लिए खेल रहे हो वहाँ पे बहुत फर्क रहता है, टीम कॉम्बिनेशन में फर्क रहता है. नाउ ही वोंट बी द कैप्टन, सो उस पर सब देख नहीं रहे कि उसका कैप्टनसी कैसा चल रहा है वो नहीं देख रहे कोई. अब रोहित शर्मा कैप्टन है, उसको बस अपने परफॉर्मेंसेस देने. सो अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स चेंज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, and I hope he can kind of uh, forget about whatever has happened this season. It's been one of the most horrible experiences for him as a player, I'm sure. So he just has to kind of move on from that and have a good World Cup for India to have a good chance. So we covered, I think, 8 players. So I think after that, there's 4 spinners that we picked. Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep, and Chahal has made a comeback to the Indian team. Chahal is our highest wicket taker in T20, and it's something which is uh, quite surprising. He has never played a single T20 World Cup match for India till now. So it might happen this time that he might play. Hopefully he will. And Rohit Sharma press conference में he said कि उसको पर्सनली उसको चाहिए था कि 4 spinners रहे. आई थिंक we've seen कि वेस्ट इंडीज के ट्रैक्स मतलब pitches they deteriorate and the sun will be playing in the morning, so वहाँ पे there might be something for the spinners. The ball might wait, turn a little, so उसकी वजह से I think we've gone with those 4 spinners. We don't know how it will be in USA obviously because वहाँ पे तो नए ग्राउंड्स बन रहे हैं न्यूयॉर्क में जहाँ पे we'll play Pakistan. I think it might be a belter, we never know, but that's why we've got the option of not playing the spinner in that case. But especially when uh, which we are quite optimistic that we'll make it to the Super 8 when we go to the West Indies. वहाँ पे खेलने के टाइम पे I think 3 spinners is what our strategy might be, along with 2 seamers and a Pandya, and if needed a Shivam Dubey. So basically Jadeja probably will start as a number 7. I think उसका lot of people have said कि उसके performances haven't quite been something that Jadeja someone जो हमेशा he gets picked, and there's not a lot of talk about why Jadeja is picked or not picked because he's always picked basically. But उसका selection के बारे में there's not a lot of talk, and that is because even if his performances haven't been as good as probably you would want him as a number 7 all-rounder to do, there's no one better than him in Indian cricket, and that is a fact. और तुमको उस नंबर 7 पे बैटिंग करने वाला और कोई प्लेयर नहीं मिलेगा जो तुमको डे इन डे आउट 4 ओवर दे सकता है. There's nobody else. Hardik Pandya, if he would have done that years ago, we would have had Hardik at 7. Hardik never assures you 4 overs ever, so you can't be. So Jadeja is someone who will give you 4 overs. हर मैच में 4 overs देगा वो, और ऊपर से ही कैन बैट. इसके साथ ऐसे कॉम्बिनेशन वाला वी ट्राइड अश्विन, अक्षर पटेल, उसके अलावा कोई है ही नहीं. तो जडेजा ऑब्वियसली विल स्टार्ट, एंड जडेजा इज समवन की वो अभी एक्सपीरियंस भी है, एंड ही हैज टर्नड अप एट टाइम. 2019 का ओडिया वर्ल्ड कप में ही हैड टर्नड अप. सो आई थिंक एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर है. इट्स अ गुड थिंग दैट देव स्टक विथ हिम. Akshar Patel is obviously, I think, as a backup for Jadeja. If something happens to Jadeja, there's nobody who can bat at 7. Again, as I said, that's why Jadeja is so valuable कि तुम्हारे पास कोई है ही नहीं. अगर जडेजा को कुछ हुआ तो you need someone who can come in and bat 7. क्योंकि अपने कोई अगला apart from Jadeja and Akshar, there's nobody in the bowling department who can bat. And that is why after 7 we are kind of going directly to a bowling attack जहाँ पे सब लोग are equally bad at batting. मतलब nothing worth knowing कि उनकी बैटिंग है. थोड़ा बहुत बुमराह करेगा, थोड़ा बहुत कुलदीप करेगा, तो इट्स अगेन एज आई सेड कि वहाँ पे बैटिंग कुछ है नहीं, तो सेवन तो यू नीड समवन टू बैट, एंड जडेजा अक्षर में से एक तो ऑब्वियसली खेलेगा ही, और आई थिंक जडेजा विल स्टार्ट ओवर अक्षर, ऑब्वियसली एक्सपीरियंस्ड है, अक्षर ने ऐसा कुछ खास किया भी नहीं बैट के साथ बॉल के साथ कि उसको हम जडेजा के पहले भाई जडेजा बाहर बैठ करेंगे, सो आई थिंक जडेजा विल स्टार्ट, अक्षर प्रॉब्ली ऑन द बेंच, and Kuldeep and Chahal. Obviously, the reunion of Kulcha, I think it's very good to know that Chahal's been brought back. He's had good IPL seasons back to back this year as well. I mean, the last four games for him have been quite terrible, I think, economy wise, wickets wise. But I think he's a smart bowler. He's played a lot for India. He's played a lot in different conditions. He's played against the top players, and he, I think, is experienced enough to kind of, even if he's not played much for India in the recent games, recent year or so, he'll still be quite handy with the ball. And I think Rohit Sharma's kind of shown that trust in him, I feel, to pick him, which I hope will pay off. Kuldeep is obviously our best spinner. I think the way he handles his four overs, the way he has matured, I think from being someone who was, you always knew कि a left-arm Chinaman bowler is something which is special, and he always showed that he is a special bowler, but he had inconsistency in his bowling. I mean, जहाँ पे उसका line length का है, I think now the mystery bowling and the fact that he can still uh, on pitches where you saw him pick up, I think, 4 wickets on the day where uh, SRH were going really strong against Delhi, and he came in and picked up 4 wickets. So he was getting hit a lot, but he still has that composure to kind of come back and bowl well. A few years back, Kuldeep Yadav didn't do that. Now he has got that maturity, and I think for that, I think he's our best spinner. He's a genuine wicket taker. कि तुमको wicket चाहिए तो you can bring him on and he'll bring you a wicket. Someone of that sort, he knows how to pitch it. Give the flight, uh, the dusra, whatever, everything, and I think all the variation that he has, I think Kuldeep is our best spinner. And along with, if you pair Chahal, who probably, I don't know if Chahal and Jadeja might bowl 4 overs every day. Chahal might. Chahal might have to play a different kind of role which he has played at Rajasthan, never at India though. That he might have to bowl at the death. क्योंकि अपन अगर 3 स्पिनर ले रहे हैं तो one of the spinners will have to bowl quite in the later overs of the inning, जहाँ पे 14-15 ओवर के बाद एक आध 2 ओवर चहल को शायद से डालने पड़ेंगे, because we can't have Bumrah everywhere. Obviously, we'll try and save 2 overs of Bumrah every time, but you can't always expect that. So Chahal might bowl in that way. So these are the 4 spinners that have been picked. तो 12 हो गए. The remaining 3 are the 3 fast bowlers. Bumrah obviously picks himself. He's in terrific form. Mumbai के लिए he's the purple cap holder right now, and it's with the Mumbai Indians team which is doing absolutely terribly, 10th position में, but still he has found a way to kind of do well, and he has all, I think, the way he can pick up wickets, Yorkers जो भी है, with the new ball he can be very handy. Whenever you need wickets in the middle overs, he'll come back and give you, I think, and the best thing that about any fast bowler, that any bowler you want, is that if it's not their day, you want them to be at least economical. अगर तेरे विकेट्स निकल रहे हैं तो द लीस्ट यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम देम इज कि भाई तू रन मत खा, एंड बुमराह इज समवन हु विल डू दैट. इफ इट्स नॉट हिज डे, देयर विल बी opponents who will probably play him out and not give him wickets. He will still not concede runs, and that is which is something which is very important. And even though apna pace attack looks like the weakest department throughout, Bumrah is someone who will be very crucial. Uske 4 overs will be very important to us, and how Rohit uses that will be very good to see how that happens. The second fast bowler that we'll use, probably one of Arshdeep and Siraj. I think Arshdeep obviously has played a lot for India in the T20 as in the last year, 2-3 years. Last T20 World Cup maybe he was there, and as a left-handed fast bowler है, death में भी डाल सकता है. He's got some movement up front, so I think for that he's picked. I don't really rate him as highly. I feel he bowls a lot of wides and he kind of is expensive at times, so that's there. But I think overall तुम देखो कि जहाँ पे फास्ट बॉलर्स का है, the players that have consistently played for India, उनमें से I think Arshdeep kind of picks himself. Siraj ka, I think Siraj hasn't played consistently for the Indian T20 team, because I think there's a good reason for that. I mean, he's very expensive. On days where it's not his day, he'll just get hit out the park throughout, and which is something I don't like about him. But he's being picked, I think, of the fact that we probably need a new ball bowler. क्योंकि अगर बुमराह तुमको यूज करना है एंड में, तो तुम्हारा जो दूसरा फास्ट बॉलर है, पेयर हिम अप विद प्रॉब्ली पांड्या. यू नीड समवन, आई थिंक, maybe we'll bowl Chahal, maybe we'll bowl Kuldeep in the power play itself, but you need some fast bowler to kind of be aggressive with the new ball. And that is why I think Siraj is being picked, because his strength is with the new ball. I would hope to see him bowl with the new ball and then never again in the death, because it's not his forte. Even though we might need to use him because of the fact that we won't probably be playing 3 fast bowlers. Pandya included will be the third fast bowler. Uh, So I think this is the 15 that has been picked. Who are the big misses? Rinku Singh is probably the biggest name, from which was he was probably the favorite to be. If someone told me, or anybody, that you have to pick a squad for the Indian T20 World Cup before the IPL, I think what will be your ideal 11? I think one of the names that was written by everybody without much thinking was at number 6, Rinku Singh, because he played. I think he's played. I read the stat. 11 innings he's played for India in T20s, and he's got a strike rate of 176 plus and an average of 80 90 something, which is just phenomenal. And he has played half of those games against Australia. Afghanistan के against भी when he partnered with Rohit to win that game जहाँ पे Rohit scored 100. The last T20 I think we played, he got 69. I think something. I'm not exactly sure, but I think something like that. तो उसके बाद him getting dropped is something that is definitely sad as a fan. But you can see the thought process. You can see, obviously, look, there'll be so many players. I mean, रिंकू को लेते तो कोई एक और बाहर बैठता, शायद से दुबे बाहर बैठता या कोई और बाहर बैठता, तो फिर लोग कहते कि उसको क्यों नहीं लिया. So there always will be someone else who you would want to be picked, who you want to be in the team. But at the end they have to pick 15, and he is a part of the reserves. चार जो reserves है उनमें से एक रिंकू सिंह है. Shubman Gill is the other reserve, other reserve batsman that is being picked, which I don't see any logic in why he's been picked. There's no form. There's nothing that he's doing well in the IPL. Neither has he done so well for India in the recent T20s. So there's no good reason for you to pick Shubman Gill in that. And there's a lot of better players I think in Indian cricket right now, based on, even if it's not experience. I mean, you're picking him as a reserve. What has Shubman Gill done as a T20 batsman for India so far? I don't see anything. So, वो एक decision है मेरे हिसाब से, which is one of the worst decisions that has been picked in this squad. Ruturaj Gaikwad, यहाँ पे I would have loved to see the way he is consistently playing for CSK. He played for India against Australia in that T20 series, scored 100. So मेरे को नहीं पता what else he has to do to kind of get the attention of the selectors and get them diverted from the, well, they're looking at Gill as probably the next, I mean, big player of India, because Tendulkar, Kohli, Gill ऐसा सब बोल रहे, which is not in reality true. So I don't know when they'll realize that and kind of look at other options. Ruturaj would have been the perfect fit for at least the reserve spot, क्योंकि I think जायसवाल का तो फॉर्म भी नहीं चल रहा है. जायसवाल को तुमने स्क्वाड में किस बेसिस पे लिया है? The fact that he's done well for India, तो तुमने लिया, and I respect that. शुभमन गिल का कुछ सही नहीं रहा है. Neither has he got good form right now. Neither has he done well for India in the recent series wherever he's played. So for me, I think it is the biggest upset is Ruturaj not being picked, or rather Gill being picked. And apart from that, they've picked two others which in the reserves. That is, and there are two fast bowlers, which is Avesh Khan and Khalil Ahmed. And Khalil has been picked off the IPL form that he has bowled really well with the new ball. उसका swing बहुत हुआ है. He's picked up early wickets with the new ball, and I think that is why they picked. If सिराज को कुछ हुआ तो शायद से कोई तो new ball bowler lefty भी है, तो I think that's why Khalil has been picked. Avesh Khan has done well for Rajasthan this time, and he has bowled well whenever he's been brought on power play में भी या फिर बीच में भी या डेथ में भी. So he's done quite well, so that is why he's been picked. One of the players again who has gone unnoticed is Sandeep Sharma. मतलब he has got great stats in the IPL. He hasn't played at all for India much. I think जो भी खेला है बहुत पहले खेला है. But I think the selectors are quite adamant about the fact that they want to play only players who are creating big name, big fuss around right now. And I think Sandeep Sharma is an underrated star player who I feel like India never used much. And I think especially now the way he's bowling for Rajasthan, I mean, he at least deserved one reserve spot at least over someone like Avish for sure. So I feel, and he's someone who can bowl with the new ball. He swings the ball well, and he's extremely good at the death as well. तो उस तरीके का bowler I felt we should have picked. And yeah, so I think those are the kind of misses I feel have, you know, India's kind of missed. Ruturaj is there. There's Sandeep Sharma, as I said. Bishnoi का एक है, और जो क्योंकि he was the T20 number one bowler when we were playing the recent series, I think against Afghanistan, जब वो number one हुआ था. अभी he's dropped from number one, but he's still in the top 5, top 10 somewhere. And that's why I'll be disappointed कि उसका नहीं हुआ. और ऊपर से it's not just कि we've taken a spinner less and that's why he's been dropped. We actually picked an extra spinner, 4 spinners select किए, और ऊपर से फिर भी उसका spot नहीं बना है. And that's why he'll be probably disappointed. But I think as a youngster, he might get his spot sometime down the line. And it's not like he's having a good time in the IPL either. So that is all there. Hardik Pandya's form is probably the one that is most concerning, but I think he will do well. So what is my ideal 11 for the Indian team would be कि जहाँ पे I think I would open with Rohit and Kohli. It is something that a lot of the Indian fans have dreamt of a long time कि यार ये दोनों opening क्यों नहीं करते. तो we saw that against some T20 या bilateral में जहाँ पे उन्होंने किया है, and I think I would love to see that happen now, जहाँ पे Rohit and Kohli will open, and I think it's quite something that I feel they'll do. Sky at three, it's a little something that I don't kind of trust Sky at three, because अगर early wicket out हो, early कोई out हुआ, जो कि होने के chances बहुत है, Rohit gets out early at times. Uh, so if that happens, Sky at three is something which I don't think he's ready for to face the swinging ball. You know, in the middle overs he can come and play a bigger inning, but उसका problem है कि वो, you know, he'll get out early if the ball is swinging. He'll try to play those shots that he plays whenever he comes out to bat. So I think he's probably a very good fit at four. So that's why there's a chance they might say, okay, Jaiswal to open and Kohli at three. So that's an option. Or play Samson as the keeper and bat him at three and put Sky at four. So it's a choice whether they are ready to kind of say, okay, Sky is my three. I personally want Pant over Samson. That's why I'm saying Sky at three. Shivam Dubey is my number four. Proper hitter, six hitter for CSK, four and five. He can play anywhere over there. So I think him and Pant as two left-handed batters at four and five. Pant will keep wickets for me, and that is my middle order. Then there's Hardik at six. There's no replacement for Hardik at six. He has to play at six, and he has to kind of play the finisher's role there, and sort of also 2-3 overs every game kind of a role, because of the fact that he will be mostly the third seamer, because we'll pick three spinners, two seamers, and Pandya. So that is my top six. So I've left out Samson and Jaiswal from that. Uh, as I said, they can actually drop Pant, play Samson, put him at three. You get everybody in one spot, lower, Sky at four, and that. Maybe play Jaiswal. Probably they'll have to drop Dubey in that case, and play accordingly with Kohli at three and Sky at four, Pant at five, and Hardik at six. So that is something they can play with. That's the option they carry. Then there's Jadeja at seven, Akshar probably as a backup. If they feel they need an extra batter, they can play Akshar over Chahel and bat him at eight to get an extra additional batsman. Two left arm off spinners, but I think it's something which we carry an option. I think we don't probably think of it as a starting option. Kuldeep and Chahal probably will pair up with Jadeja at seven, and Jadeja, Kuldeep, Chahal, and the two fast bowlers will be Bumrah and probably Siraj if we want a new ball bowler. And Arshdeep ka thoda sa probably they might go with Arshdeep because of the fact that he's very good at the death compared to Siraj. I mean, he's not. I don't rate him as highly, but he's better than Siraj at the death. But left-handed bowler bhi hai, so I think maybe they might go with Arshdeep. And yeah, so that's basically my 11 for the Indian team. We have what it takes. Again, every time we play an ICC tournament, India is potentially good enough to win. हमेशा we've had a team कि यार ये जीत सकते हैं. So this time as well we'll go and be one of the favorites to win. I don't know if we will. 10 साल हुए हैं जहाँ से हर साल अपना यही हुआ है. तो might add to that, might not, hopefully not, but yeah, we'll see what happens once we reach at the end of the IPL जहाँ पे जो होगा. We play Canada, Ireland, USA, and Pakistan, the four teams that will be playing in the group stage. So we should hopefully top the group, win all four, go into the Super 8s. And from the Super 8s, there'll be three again teams that will play from the other three groups. And then after that, the top four will go into the semis and the final there. So 29th June will be the final. We'll see what happens with the team. We've picked a decent team. I feel, as I said, I would have liked a few other players, but at the end of the day, it's again just the 15 that the selectors have picked, and we have to kind of back that and hope for better results from them. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. So this is basically the preview of the T20 World Cup and kind of what I feel about the squad that we've picked. Yeah, I'll be making IPL reviews of the teams after the group stage and probably after the playoffs as well, after the final. So yeah, stay tuned for that. This is it for the T20 World Cup.